In every age of human history, a force has risen that redefined what it means to be human. Fire gave us survival. The wheel gave us speed. The printing press gave us knowledge. And now a new force has arrived. A force not of stone, wood, or iron, but of code, algorithms, and machines that think. This is the dawn of artificial intelligence. And with it comes a question that will decide the fate of our species. Will AI be our greatest ally or our ultimate downfall? Welcome to History Vault. If you believe in exploring the untold stories of our past, the secrets of our present, and the mysteries that may shape our future, then you are in the right place. Subscribe now and join us as we uncover the story of artificial intelligence, the power, the promise, and the peril of the most transformative force in human history. Since the beginning of human civilization, there's been a deep fascination with the idea of creating life, of building something that could move, act, and even think on its own. Long before silicon chips and neural networks, people dreamed of artificial beings, imagining them in myths, legends, and stories. This dream was not born in modern laboratories, but in the ancient imagination. When we trace the origins of artificial intelligence, we find that its roots lie not only in science, but also in mythology, philosophy, and the timeless human desire to create a reflection of ourselves. In the midst of ancient Greece, there is a story of Talos, a giant bronze automaton built by the god Hephaestus. Talos was said to guard the island of Crete, circling its shores and hurling stones at invading ships. He was not flesh and blood, but machine powered by a mysterious life force running through a vein sealed with a nail. To the Greeks, Talos was both a marvel and a warning, a symbol of human ambition to create life through artifice. Similarly, in the story of Pandora, the gods fashioned the first woman out of clay, giving her beauty, intelligence, and cunning. Though created by divine hands, the idea of designing a being with qualities chosen by its maker reflects the earliest form of artificial design. But Greece was not alone in imagining such beings. In Chinese legend, stories speak of mechanical birds and men crafted by inventors who could mimic life. One tale described an engineer presenting the king with a life-size mechanical figure that could walk, sing, and even flirt, to the astonishment of the court. In the Islamic Golden Age, brilliant engineers like Al-Jazari designed intricate automata, water clocks with moving figures, mechanical musicians, and even programmable devices. These creations were not intelligent in the way we imagine AI today, but they represented the earliest attempts to blur the boundary between the organic and the artificial. The Renaissance in Europe brought a renewed interest in building lifelike machines. Leonardo da Vinci, the great polymath, sketched plans for a mechanical knight that could sit, wave its arms, and move its head. Though never fully constructed in his lifetime, modern reconstructions show that Leonardo's design could have worked. He was not simply building toys. He was exploring how the mechanisms of gears and pulleys could imitate the functions of living creatures. In essence, he was laying the groundwork for thinking about the human body as a machine, a concept that would later become central in the development of artificial intelligence. As philosophy evolved, so did the idea of intelligence itself. In the 17th century, René Descartes famously declared, "I think, therefore I am." He suggested that thinking was the essence of being human. If thought defined existence, then could thought one day be replicated artificially? Around the same time, inventors like Blaise Pascal and Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz created early calculating machines, devices capable of performing arithmetic faster than any human. Though these machines were limited, they hinted at the possibility of building a device that could one day reason. The true foundations of artificial intelligence, however, began in the 20th century with the invention of modern computing. During World War II, a brilliant mathematician named Alan Turing asked a revolutionary question. Could machines think? Turing had already developed the concept of a universal machine, what we now call a computer, that could process information in logical steps. He proposed the idea of the Turing test, a thought experiment where a human judge interacts with both a person and a machine through written communication. If the judge could not reliably tell which was human and which was machine, then the machine could be said to exhibit intelligence. This question transformed AI from myth into a scientific pursuit. Turing's work was more than mathematical theory. It was a philosophical shift. For the first time, Intelligence was no longer seen as an exclusively human trait, but as something that could potentially be designed, replicated, and improved. His vision laid the foundation for generations of scientists to explore the possibility of artificial minds. In the early days of computing, the idea of artificial intelligence captured imaginations everywhere. Writers and filmmakers began to explore these concepts in science fiction, blending human hopes with fears. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, though written earlier in the 19th century, gained new relevance. It told a man-made creature that turned against its creator, echoing anxieties about machines surpassing human control. Later, films like Metropolis in 1927 brought to life the image of a robot capable of both serving and destroying humanity. These stories serve as cautionary tales, reminding us that intelligence without morality could be dangerous. Meanwhile, scientific progress was accelerating. The Cold War fueled massive investments in technology, and governments recognized that machines capable of simulating intelligence could revolutionize warfare, communication, and society. Early programs in the 1950s began attempting to play chess, solve logic problems, and translate languages. Though primitive, they marked the birth of AI research as a serious discipline. Looking back, the origins of artificial intelligence reveal a remarkable journey. From the myths of Talos to the machines of Al-Jazari, from Da Vinci's sketches to Turing's test, humanity has always sought to create something that reflects its own mind. This journey shows us that AI is not simply a modern invention, but the continuation of an ancient dream. It is a dream born of wonder and ambition, of curiosity and fear, of the eternal desire to transcend our limits by crafting intelligence outside of ourselves. As we stand in the 21st century, with AI embedded in our phones, cars, and homes, it is worth remembering that this revolution did not appear overnight. It has been centuries in the making, a story written by countless hands and inspired by countless visions. Artificial intelligence is, at its core, the latest chapter in humanity's timeless pursuit to bring thought to life. When Alan Turing posed his famous question, "Can machines think?" he opened the door to a new era of exploration. But turning that philosophical question into practical reality required decades of experimentation, setbacks, and breakthroughs. The evolution of artificial intelligence has not been a straight path, but a winding journey, marked by moments of optimism, disillusionment, and astonishing progress. To understand how AI became woven into our daily lives, we must trace its development from the laboratories of mid-20th century scientists to the smartphones, cars, and algorithms that shape our world today. The 1950s and 1960s are often called the birth of AI as a scientific discipline. At the Dartmouth Conference in 1956, a group of researchers, including John McCarthy, Marvin Minsky, Herbert Simon, and Alan Newell, gathered to explore the possibility of creating machines that could simulate intelligence. It was here that the term artificial intelligence was officially coined. These pioneers believed that within a generation, machines would rival human thinking. Early programs like the logic theorist, developed by Newell and Simon, could solve mathematical proofs, while McCarthy created Lisp, a programming language designed specifically for AI research. For the first time, the dream of building thinking machines was formalized into a field of study. In those early years, optimism ran high. Researchers developed programs capable of playing games like chess and checkers, solving algebraic problems, and even carrying on limited conversations. These achievements were impressive for their time, and many predicted that true human-level AI was just around the corner. Yet as the 1970s approached, the limitations of early computers became clear. The machines lacked the memory, speed, and data needed to replicate complex human reasoning. Promises of rapid progress gave way to disappointment, ushering in what came to be known as the first AI winter, a period when funding and enthusiasm declined sharply. Despite these setbacks, AI research continued. By the 1980s, a new wave of optimism emerged with the rise of expert systems, programs designed to replicate the decision-making of human specialists in narrow fields like medicine or engineering. Systems like Mycin could diagnose bacterial infections with impressive accuracy, while others advised companies on resource management. Governments and corporations invested heavily, believing AI would revolutionize industries. For a time, it seemed as though machines were finally gaining practical intelligence. But expert systems, too, had limitations. They struggled outside their specific domains, required constant updating, and could not learn on their own. By the late 1980s, disillusionment returned, leading to another slowdown in research funding, the second AI winter. The true turning point came in the 1990s and early 2000s with the rise of machine learning. Unlike earlier systems that relied on rigid rules programmed by humans, machine learning allowed computers to improve through experience, analyzing large amounts of data to detect patterns and make predictions. Advances in computer hardware, particularly faster processors and increased storage, made it possible to train more complex models. A historic milestone occurred in 1997 when IBM's Deep Blue defeated world chess champion Garry Kasparov, a symbolic moment that demonstrated machines could outmatch humans in specific intellectual tasks. But chess was only the beginning. As the internet exploded, it generated vast amounts of data, an essential fuel for machine learning. Companies like Google, Amazon, and Facebook began harnessing AI to organize search results, recommend products, and target advertisements. The algorithms operating behind the scenes were invisible to most people, yet they were quietly transforming daily life. Suddenly, artificial intelligence was not confined to laboratories. It was shaping what we read, what we watched, and even what we bought. The 2010s saw another revolution with the rise of deep learning, inspired by the structure of a human brain. Artificial neural networks, layered in complex architectures, allowed machines to recognize images, understand speech, and translate languages with unprecedented accuracy. In 2012, a deep learning system shocked researchers by identifying cats in YouTube videos without ever being told what a cat was. By 2016, Google's AlphaGo defeated the world champion of Go, a game far more complex than chess, with more possible board configurations and atoms in the universe. This victory was not just a technological triumph, but a profound symbol. Machines were mastering creativity and intuition like skills once thought uniquely human. As AI grew more powerful, it became embedded in everyday technologies. Virtual assistants like Siri, Alexa, and Google Assistant entered our homes, responding to voice commands and learning our habits. Smartphones use AI to enhance photos, predict text, and even unlock screens with facial recognition. Cars began to drive themselves, at least partially, using AI to detect lane, pedestrians, and traffic signals. In medicine, algorithms analyzed X-rays, MRIs, and genetic data, often outperforming doctors in detecting certain conditions. The dream of machines augmenting human ability was no longer a distant vision. It was reality. Yet with this transformation came new challenges and controversies. Social media algorithms designed to maximize engagement began influencing elections, polarizing societies, and spreading misinformation. Recommendation systems, while convenient, also trap people in echo chambers, reinforcing existing beliefs. Concerns over privacy deepen as AI tracked browsing habits, locations, and conversations. The same technology that enabled convenience also carried risks, raising urgent ethical questions. AI's evolution has always been a story of contrasts, optimism and disappointment, breakthroughs and limitations, promises and perils. From the laboratories of Dartmouth to the deep learning revolution, it reflects humanity's relentless pursuit of building machines that can think, learn, and adapt. But what makes this evolution remarkable is not just the technology itself, but how seamlessly it has integrated into our daily lives. Today, most people carry AI in their pockets without even realizing it. From suggesting the fastest route home to curating our entertainment playlists, AI is no longer a futuristic dream. It is an invisible companion shaping our decisions every day. As we move further into the 21st century, the story of AI's evolution continues to unfold. Machines are growing not just smarter, but more autonomous, pushing the boundaries of what it means to live alongside artificial minds. Looking back, we see a journey that began with ambition in the laboratory and now touches nearly every aspect of human life. But looking forward, we must ask, what happens when AI is no longer just a tool but partner, when its decisions influence not just our choices, but the very structure of our societies? That question leads us to the next stage of our journey, AI's impact on humanity itself. For centuries, humans have built tools to extend their abilities. Stone axes to hunt, wheels to travel, electricity to power civilization. But artificial intelligence is unlike any invention before it. It does not just extend human hands or speed. It extends human thought. It can analyze faster, remember more, and in some cases, even decide better. This raises a profound question. Are we still in control of our creations, or have we begun sharing control with them? At first, AI seemed purely collaborative. Virtual assistants scheduled our meetings, navigation apps guided our journeys, and recommendation systems introduced us to new music, movies, and books. In hospitals, AI scanned medical images, sometimes detecting diseases that even skilled doctors overlooked. For the farmer, AI-powered drones analyzed soil and crop health. For the engineer, AI modeled complex designs. For the artist, AI generated melodies, paintings, and even poetry. It felt like a partnership, a collaboration where human imagination and machine intelligence worked side by side. But this partnership was not equal. Machines had no desires of their own, no goals beyond those given by humans. And yet, as their influence spread, people began noticing something unsettling. AI was shaping human behavior in ways that were subtle but powerful. Social media feeds, controlled by algorithms, decided what news we saw, which voices we heard, and what trends we followed. What once felt like freedom of choice was increasingly guided by invisible AI systems optimizing for engagement. In this sense, the collaboration between human and machine tilted toward hidden control. Conflict soon followed. In workplaces, AI-driven automation began replacing jobs. Factories that once employed thousands of workers became silent halls of robotic arms, assembling products with flawless precision. Algorithms in finance traded stocks faster than human minds could react, rendering some human roles obsolete. Truck drivers, call center operators, and even journalists face an uncertain future as AI tools advanced. The same technology that promised efficiency also created anxiety. Fear of irrelevance in a world where machines could outperform humans not just in physical labor, but in intellectual tasks. This conflict was not always direct or visible, but it was deeply psychological. Humans measure their worth through work, creativity, and decision-making. If machines take over these domains, what role is left for humanity? The question of identity arose. Are we still the masters, or are we slowly becoming assistants to the very systems we designed? The issue of control loomed even larger. AI systems, particularly those built on deep learning, became so complex that even their creators could not always explain how they reached conclusions. Doctors using AI for diagnosis sometimes faced black box recommendations, correct answers without understandable reasoning. Military leaders tested autonomous drones capable of identifying and striking targets without direct human orders. Law enforcement agencies deployed predictive policing tools that forecasted crime hotspots, raising fears of bias and injustice. In all these scenarios, humans had given away fragments of decision-making power. The machine was no longer just a tool. It had become an actor in human affairs. Still, collaboration remained possible. AI did not seek conflict. It had nowhere to dominate. It was humanity's choices that determined whether AI became a trusted ally or a dangerous rival. In medicine, AI worked best when paired with human doctors who understood not just data, but the emotional context of patients. In business, companies thrive when they use AI to enhance human creativity rather than replace it. In science, AI accelerated discoveries but still relied on human intuition to guide research questions. The most successful models were those where collaboration was central, where humans and machines complemented, rather than competed with one another. Yet mistrust lingered. People wondered, what if machines became too intelligent? Would they one day refuse human control? These fears echoed in literature and cinema, from Mary Shelley's Frankenstein to modern films like Ex Machina and Her. Science fiction often projected AI as a threat, a cold, calculating entity that saw humanity as expendable. While current AI systems are far from sentient, the fear is symbolic. It reflects our anxiety about losing control over our own creations. Conflicts also arose on a societal level. Nations raced to develop more advanced AI, seeing it as a weapon of power and dominance. Data became the new oil, and the countries or corporations that control it gain unprecedented influence. Citizens worry that governments and tech giants might use AI not to empower them, but to monitor, manipulate, and control them. Facial recognition tracked crowds, sentiment analysis monitored social media, and predictive algorithms influence elections. In this new landscape, the line between collaboration and control blurred dangerously. But amidst the fears, stories of genuine collaboration offered hope. In climate science, AI analyzed patterns in weather, helping predict natural disasters and guide relief efforts. In archaeology, AI scanned satellite images to uncover lost cities buried under deserts. In humanitarian work, AI translated languages in real time, allowing aid workers to communicate across barriers. These examples reveal the noblest potential of AI, not to replace humanity, but to elevate it, to help solve problems too vast for humans alone. And so, the relationship between AI and humanity rests on a delicate balance. Collaboration promises a future of shared strength, where human creativity meets machine efficiency. Conflict warns us of inequality, displacement, and mistrust. Control remains the ultimate question. Will we remain the architects, or will we allow our creations to guide us down paths we do not fully understand? The truth is, the story is still being written. Humanity stands at a crossroads where every decision about AI, how we build it, how we regulate it, how we use it, will shape our collective future. Will AI become a partner in solving climate change, curing diseases, and expanding knowledge? Or will it deepen divides, fuel surveillance, and strip humans of agency? In the end, AI does not determine the outcome. We do. Collaboration, conflict, and control are not fixed destinies but choices. And those choices will define not only the future of technology, but the essence of humanity itself. When a new technology emerges, it often carries with it a dual nature, light and shadow, hope and danger. Artificial intelligence is no exception. For every promise it brings, there's a peril that follows close behind. The same algorithms that can save lives can also endanger them. The same systems that offer fairness can deepen injustice. The ethical dilemmas of AI are not distant science fiction. They are here, now, shaping our daily lives in ways both subtle and profound. The promise is dazzling. In medicine, AI can analyze vast data sets of medical scans, genetic profiles, and clinical records, detecting illnesses earlier than human doctors. Imagine a child in a remote village whose symptoms are uploaded to an AI platform that diagnoses a rare disease in seconds, something that might have taken months in the past, or remained undetected until it was too late. Here, AI is a guardian of life. In education, adaptive learning platforms can analyze the strengths and weaknesses of individual students, tailoring lessons to their pace and style, ensuring that no child is left behind. For climate change, AI can optimize renewable energy grids, forecast natural disasters, and even model carbon reduction strategies that policymakers can implement. Each of these promises paints AI as a tool not just of efficiency, but of justice, equality, and survival. But then comes the peril. AI is not inherently good or bad. It reflects the values of those who design and use it. A medical AI trained mostly on data from wealthy countries may misdiagnose patients from poorer nations. An educational AI might favor students who already have access to technology, deepening the digital divide rather than closing it. In climate policy, AI could be misused by corporations to greenwash their image rather than genuinely reduce carbon footprints. The danger is not simply that AI makes mistakes. It is that these mistakes can scale globally, amplifying inequality on a scale humanity has never seen. One of the deepest ethical dilemmas lies in bias. AI learned from data, and data is a mirror history. But history is full of prejudice, racial discrimination, gender bias, economic inequality. When AI absorbs this history, it risks replicating those injustices. A hiring algorithm might learn to prefer men over women, not because women are less capable, but because historically more men were hired. A facial recognition system may struggle to correctly identify people with darker skin tones, not because of any flaw in human biology, but because the training data underrepresented them. Here, AI does not erase human bias. It encodes it, hides it in complex systems, and presents it as objective truth. The result is a dangerous illusion, discrimination disguised as science. Another ethical question revolves around autonomy. In a world increasingly guided by AI recommendations, how much of our decision-making remains our own? Consider social media. Algorithms decide which stories we see, which voices we hear, which trends capture our attention. Over time, these curated feeds can create echo chambers, entire groups of people seeing only one side of reality, reinforcing divisions in society. If AI can subtly nudge us towards certain choices, whether political, commercial, or personal, are we still free? Or have we surrendered our autonomy to unseen systems of control? Privacy is another battlefield. AI thrives on data, the more the better. But this hunger for data raises uncomfortable questions. How much of ourselves are we willing to expose? Every online search, every purchase, every location check-in becomes a piece of the puzzle AI uses to predict our behavior. Corporations gather it, governments monitor it, and hackers covet it. What was once private becomes public, and what was once forgotten becomes permanent. In such a world, is privacy a right we can still defend, or has it become an illusion we cling to? The ethical dilemmas deepen in warfare. Military applications of AI push humanity into uncharted territory. Autonomous drones that can select and eliminate targets without human approval raise chilling questions. If a machine kills, who is responsible? The programmer, the commander, or the machine itself? For the first time in history, humans may face weapons that think faster than they do, with no moral compass to restrain them. The promise of military AI is fewer human soldiers on the battlefield. The peril is a future where wars are fought without human judgment, where machines wage battles at a speed and scale beyond human control. Even in everyday life, ethical dilemmas multiply. Who owns the creations of AI? If an AI composes a symphony, paints a portrait, or writes a novel, does the credit belong to machine, its programmer, or the human who prompted it? If AI-generated misinformation spreads online, who is accountable? These questions cut to the core of human identity and culture. For centuries, creativity and responsibility have been the hallmarks of what it means to be human. Now, we must decide whether machines can share or even replace that role. And yet, amidst the dangers, the promise remains too great to ignore. AI could unlock cures for diseases that have plagued humanity for centuries. It could design sustainable cities, reduce poverty, and democratize education. It could give voices to the voiceless, opportunities to the marginalized, and power to the powerless. But only if we approach it with wisdom. The key lies not in rejecting AI, nor in embracing it blindly, but in shaping it ethically, embedding into it the values we hold most dear: fairness, accountability, transparency, and above all, humanity. The future of AI will not be determined by algorithms alone. It will be determined by laws, by ethics, by collective decisions about how far we are willing to let machines shape our lives. It requires voices from all walks of life: scientists, philosophers, policymakers, and ordinary citizens. Because AI is not just a technological revolution, it is a moral revolution, one that challenges us to redefine what kind of world we want to live in. Perhaps the greatest ethical question of all is not about machines, but about ourselves. AI forces us to look in the mirror and ask, what do we value most as humans? Efficiency or empathy? Profit or justice? Control or compassion? The choices we make in answering these questions will shape not just the future of AI, but the future of humanity itself. The promise and the peril are inseparable. One cannot exist without the other. To harness AI's promise, we must confront its peril. To embrace its light, we must understand its shadow. And in this delicate balance, in this fragile dance between progress and responsibility, lies the next great turning point in human history. Every age of human history has had its turning points, moments where civilization stood at a crossroads and made choices that defined centuries to come. The invention of the wheel, the discovery of fire, the creation of writing, the Industrial Revolution. Each of these was not just a technological leap, but a transformation of what it meant to be human. Today, with artificial intelligence, we are once again standing at such a turning point. The choices we make now will echo into the future of humanity, shaping not just how we live, but who we become. The possibilities stretch before us like an open horizon. Imagine a world where diseases that have plagued humanity for millennia, cancer, Alzheimer's, malaria, are finally defeated not by luck or slow discovery, but by AI systems that can map genetic codes and design cures at lightning speed. Picture global food security achieved through AI-optimized farming, where every seed, every drop of water, and every patch of land is used with perfect efficiency to feed billions. Visualize cities that breathe, powered by AI-managed renewable energy grids, where traffic flows seamlessly, pollution levels drop, and climate change is slowed by precise human-machine collaboration. In such a future, AI is not just a tool. It is a partner, an ally in our struggle to build a better world. But the turning point cuts both ways. There is also a darker path, one that leads to a world of surveillance states, where every action, every word, every thought is monitored by AI-driven systems. Where misinformation spreads so effectively through synthetic voices and deepfake videos that truth itself becomes impossible to recognize. A future where jobs vanish faster than new ones are created, leaving entire populations adrift, excluded from economies they once helped build. And beyond all this looms the specter of artificial superintelligence, a form of AI that surpasses human intelligence entirely. If that day comes, will humanity remain in control, or will we have created something that slips beyond our grasp? This is why the present moment is a threshold. It is not AI itself that will decide our future, but how we choose to govern it. At the heart of this turning point lies a profound question. Will AI be used to concentrate power in the hands of few or to empower the many? Already, we see hints of both futures. Tech giants hoard vast amounts of data, building models so powerful they influence global economies and politics. At the same time, open-source movements are rising, demanding transparency and access for all. The battle is not between humans and machines, but between competing visions of how humanity will wield this tool. Education will be one of the battlegrounds of the future. If AI becomes the ultimate teacher, it could democratize knowledge, bringing world-class education to children in villages, towns, and cities across the globe. But if access to AI remains restricted to the wealthy, education itself could become even more unequal, dividing humanity into two classes: those who can use AI to amplify their potential and those left behind. The same duality applies to work. AI could free humanity from mundane, repetitive labor, unlocking an age where creativity, innovation, and human connection are the center of our lives. Or it could lead to mass unemployment, social unrest, and a widening gap between those who own AI systems and those replaced by them. The turning point also demands a redefinition of values. For centuries, human progress has been measured by speed, efficiency, and expansion. But in an age where machines can surpass us in these areas, what will remain uniquely human? Perhaps the future lies not in competing with AI, but in complementing it, preserving qualities machines cannot replicate: empathy, morality, imagination, and wisdom. The future we build may depend less on what AI can do, and more on what we choose to remain. Global cooperation will be essential. Just as nuclear power forced nations to confront questions of control and responsibility, so too does AI demand international dialogue. If one nation races ahead without ethical guardrails, the consequences will be felt worldwide. Likewise, if nations can unite in creating standards for safety, transparency, and fairness, AI could become not a weapon of division, but a bridge toward collective progress. The turning point is not just technological. It is geopolitical, cultural, and moral. For many, the greatest fear lies in the unknown. The rise of artificial general intelligence, AGI, a system capable of independent reasoning, learning, and decision-making across all fields, much like a human mind. Some argue could usher in an age of abundance, solving problems beyond human comprehension. Others warn it could mark the end of human control, a moment when our creation no longer needs us. Whether AGI arrives in 10 years, 50, or never, the debates around it reveal something deeper: a reckoning with our own place in the universe. Are we creating a partner in progress, or are we giving birth to our successor? And yet, the turning point is not just about fear or hope. It is about responsibility. AI is not destiny. It is a reflection of human choices, human values, and human priorities. What the future holds depends on whether we approach it with wisdom or recklessness, with greed or with compassion. The most powerful AI is not the one we create in silicon and code, but the collective intelligence of humanity, the ability to come together, to reflect, and to decide wisely. Perhaps one day, future generations will look back at this moment, the early decades of the 21st century, and judge us. They will ask, when we first unleashed the power of artificial intelligence, did we use it to divide or to unite? Did we allow it to become a weapon of oppression? Or did we shape it into a force of liberation? Did we treat it as a tool to exploit or as a responsibility to guide? At this turning point, the story of humanity hangs in the balance. The next chapters have not yet been written. They will be written not by AI, but by us, by the choices we make, the values we uphold, and the vision we dare to follow. So the question remains, what kind of future do we want? A world where AI is feared as a master or trusted as a partner? A future of division or of unity? A story of peril or of promise? The answer is not somewhere in the distant future. It begins here, now with us. And it is a choice we cannot postpone. And so, the story of artificial intelligence is still being written, not in ancient scrolls or dusty archives, but in lines of code, glowing screens, and neural networks that learn as we do. From the myths of mechanical beings in ancient Greece to the supercomputers of today, humanity has always dreamed of creating intelligence beyond its own. Now, that dream stands on the edge of reality. Will AI become the partner that elevates us to a golden age of discovery and progress? Or will it become the rival that questions our very purpose on this earth? History has shown us that every revolution comes with both promise and peril. The choice is still ours. Thank you for watching History Vault. If you found this journey through the past, present, and future of AI thought-provoking, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more untold stories, and share it with those who love exploring history as much as you do. The future is being written today. The question is, will you be a witness or a part of it?